Drew Barrymore is opening up about a heavy, painful, and sad time in her life. In an interview with AARP published January 23rd, the actress gets candid about her 2016 divorce from ex-husband Will Kopelman.
A divorce experiences ruin people without anyone noticing. The familiar Hollywood actress Drew Barrymore has first-hand experience with this devastating situation. Her divorce from Will Kopelman transcended mere marital dissolution into an intense psychological conflict. She maintained silence throughout several years even, though she concealed her hardships from view under her well-known grin. She has recently revealed the painful suing she experienced. It remained unclear exactly what happened within their private home. During the difficult period following their divorce, she was able to care for their girls. The core element of her identity disappeared during these years, making her separation from her husband necessitate more than a marital breakup. There are other aspects of the story than the experience of suing. Somehow, she experienced an unexpected discovery that completely changed who she was.
My whole life I've been worried and stressed and happy and having the best time ever, and I would have never guessed that I would feel peace.
The actress Drew Barrymore maintained a dazzling career and adorable family together with what appeared to be her ideal marital partner. She achieved everything that had been her lifelong ambition: a real family, stability, love, having become something she missed throughout her childhood years. All of her seemingly perfect life declined into ruins at that moment. The beginning showed small foundation cracks in the structure. A disagreement here, a misunderstanding there. Nothing major, nothing dramatic. The situation seemed ordinary to Drew, which is why she dismissed it as typical. Most romantic relationships go through challenging periods according to shared wisdom. But then the distance grew. Conversations felt forced. Laughter faded. One day she found herself facing a marital picture that no longer felt familiar despite being stood in front of it. And the worst part? The situation could not be explained clearly through any specific reason. There was no scandal, no cheating, no explosive GHTS. She could not identify any particular breaking point, although she kept searching for an explanation to say, this is why it ended. The difficulty of this situation seemed worse because of these unclear reasons. Marriages ending from betrayal at least deliver reality because they provide answer to what happened. The dispute creates confusion when love disappears, without clear indicators of what caused its decline. Messy, heartbreaking. Any person who encounters such circumstances would do exactly what Drew chose to do, which was GHT for it. She tried to make it work. For herself, for Will, for their daughters. She was certain that better and adequate communication solutions would help restore their relationship. Love function does not operate in sets of instructions. As time passed, she recognized something horrible. Sometimes love fails to provide sufficient strength. The knowledge struck her with overwhelming force. The story did not follow the Hollywood theme where love brings ultimate victory. This was real life. In the actual world, we discover that there exist situations that cannot be cured. Drew Barrymore, who had managed to survive both Hollywood while young and repeatedly constructed life for herself, discovered herself at a loss. The dream of having a family which she had always desired faded away from her reach. And the most painful part? She found herself at a total loss regarding her next actions. Your perception of the lowest point is misguided because sadness had just begun. After the divorce, the actual consequences of getting divorced became the real test of struggle. True sorrow set in after the divorce experience. Throughout her life, Drew Barrymore has experienced many hardships and survived each challenge. But this was different. The divorce represented both an ending marital union and the fatal loss of a lifelong aspiration to her dream. The core desire of her life remained unreachable because she never developed a genuine loving family of her own. The divorce ended and she experienced things greater than sadness. She felt lost. Her fast growing up forced her to admit these words. I found myself unable to decide which emotional state of mind matched my current age. A Hollywood star of 40 years old gave birth to her 2 children when she was approaching her 40th birthday.
During Barrymore has given birth to her new girl and called her Frankie. Both mum and daughter are doing well, telling People magazine, "Happy to announce that today we are the proud parents of our second daughter, Frankie Barrymore Kopelman."
But inside, fear rushed through her at this instant because she felt like her child's self. Her shattered family life became so heavy that it oppressed her completely. She could not stand the complete silence that led her abandoned house. She sat in it. She let herself feel it. The sadness, the confusion, the unbearable loneliness. Drew Barrymore possesses resilient strength that prevents her from submitting to obstacles easily. She wanted to rise above it, to be strong. The challenge becomes how to overcome life after feelings lose their sense of reality. Days blurred together. Nights felt endless. During that period she made herself survive by simply existing without change. But then, something changed. The experience did not result from enchantment. It wasn't a grand realization. It was two little voices. Her daughters, Olive and Frankie, were still there. They still needed her. And, suddenly, she realized she couldn't stay broken. Therefore, she had a choice: let the pain dean her, or GHT to ND herself again. So, she chose to GHT. But how do you rebuild yourself when you don't even know who you are anymore? That's when she made a decision that changed everything. Drew Barrymore didn't have time to fall apart. She had two little girls looking up at her. Therefore, she made a decision. I had two kids. I had to gear it out.
When I found out I was having Frankie, my second daughter, it humbled me in a way that I've never known. I'll never forget the moment, because I realized I was put on this planet to raise girls.
So, she put everything else aside, even her career. Hollywood could wait. Movies, fame, success, none of it mattered as much as being there for Olive and Frankie. She wasn't going to miss bedtime stories, school drop OS, the little moments that made a childhood. I wasn't going to miss a second of their childhood, even if it meant doing this alone. But let's be real, doing it alone wasn't easy. She was exhausted, emotionally drained. There were nights she cried after putting the kids to sleep, wondering if she was enough, wondering if she was doing it right. So, did she ever wonder, what if, after everything she went through, the heartbreak, the healing, and the struggle of co-parenting, people expected her to start dating again, to ND someone new, to fall in love? But Drew, she had other plans. Dating? Not a priority, she admitted. And she meant it. Therefore, when people kept asking about her love life, she had the perfect response. Last December, I was single. This December, I'm still single. Hope that helps. For some, that might sound sad. But for Drew, it's freeing. For the RST time in her life, she wasn't searching for someone to complete her. She wasn't rushing into another relationship. She was choosing herself. Being in this situation proved difficult beyond measure. So, what do you think? Will Drew Barrymore ever remarry? Does she have permanently moved away from relationships, or will love return to her life? Let's talk in the comments.